Hi, I'm Kay, lifestyle coach at Avenu, and I've got Paul with us today. And Paul, thanks for joining. Thanks for being willing to have a lifestyle session. And just a little fast fact, I forgot to record the first one we did, so this is number two. So thanks again for being willing to do that. But I wanted to talk to Paul. I think he has some really good just thoughts on transition. He is newer to the team. He's been here about 6 months, almost 7. And so one of the things I wanted to talk to you about is you got here right in January, and then COVID hit, and then you find out also in the midst of everything going on that you're a new dad. And so there's been a lot of transition that's been going on. And I would love to just hear, like, how do you process when you're in transition like that?
I think just keeping just like a healthy routine throughout it all, and it can be even just something as little as going for walks. A lot of my clients know because I talk about her. Angie and I have a like a 1.5-year-old lab, and she has a ton of energy, and so she kind of makes us go out and walk. And we've been trying to go just like a little bit further, 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how humid and hot it is outside.
Right.
But yeah, a lot of transition. We found out about 2 weeks before the shutdown that we were pregnant with our first kid. So that was that's exciting news. It was hard not to tell the team at Avenue during that, or clients too, because like we talk about everything.
Right. Yeah. I mean, absolutely. Clients become friends. You know what I mean? I mean, honestly, that's how it is. We end up being so interconnected and being together and things. So I'm sure that was very hard not to be like, especially in something that's so huge as becoming a dad. I mean, that's amazing. So tell me more about like,
lot of thought space. It takes
yeah,
up a lot of thought space.
Yeah. Say, don't say. Say, don't say.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So like when you're walking, is that your main place of processing? Do you tend to process with others, or do you tend to process by yourself, for a mixture? How do you process?
I think a few years ago, I would have said I could only do it alone.
Yeah.
But now I think, I've been married coming up on 2 years, and in October it'll be 2 years. And so just,
Awesome.
as we've grown together as a couple, I think, I would say more with other people, not just Angie.
Yeah.
But I've always found that when I'm walking, I'll get stuck where I'm just like in a circle of thought, and you're not really solving the problem. And there's something about literally putting one foot in front of the other that lets my thoughts just travel forward as well.
Yeah. That's really good. I heard a lady one time describe it, that whenever we're working through something, the side by side is so huge. And instead of just like looking at each other all the time and just being like, hey, this is the way I think it should be, or this is, it's something about like what you're talking about, being able to walk it out, but then also being able to have someone next to you. It's almost comforting. Do you find it to be comforting when someone's next to you walking?
Definitely. And it's easier to walk a little bit longer because you're not just like going like forcing yourself doing to go through a workout or a walk, something like that.
Right.
It's a conversation, and
Yeah.
sometimes you'll want to go a little further just so you can keep talking about whatever you're talking about.
Absolutely. So let me ask you, it's kind of going to go with the transition piece, but you stepped out of being at one place for a while working, and you've described it kind of as being a harder place to work. You're going in, you're getting out, when you were describing it. And then you come into this new place where it's more of a team aspect, where we're all learning each other. We care about each other's personalities. We try to work well with each other. What was that like for you, coming from one mindset where it's like, I can't wait, I'm getting in, I'm doing my job, I'm doing it well, but the investment of just reciprocal relationships outside of clients was different. Tell me about that.
I mean, it's kind of one of those things looking back. I wish I had done it sooner, but I mean, just,
Yeah.
timing, it just wasn't lined up before. I mean, it's been great. It, I think I told you on the, the first take,
I know.
like
I know.
I
Yeah.
would, I would just, I would basically put my head down. I would go into work. I would train, my clients. I would connect with
Mhm.
them. But then outside of like maybe like one other coworker, I didn't really have any connection, and I would leave as soon as I could. I didn't want to
Right.
be there, and so it's no longer just like grinding out another day of just like just like putting the blinders on and just like going in and doing. It feels like less of a job, which is a big relief
Hmm.
when you actually enjoy the people around. Like I want to hear about your sons, Jake and Judah. I mean, like not only have I trained
Right.
them before, but like they're awesome kids, and
Yeah.
just getting to know coworkers and y'all's lives and things like that.
Yeah. No, I definitely, and I appreciate that. I mean, they feel that. So that level of care that you're offering them, and they have felt that, on that personal level. One of the things that I thought that we could talk about is, what does it look like? So this is going to be maybe a little bit more of a vulnerable question. Is when in transition, there's a process of like transitioning into trust, right? And so, like, it sounds like the environment that you were in was a less trusting environment, just because of the way things were handled, the value that was put, like, as you as a person. What does it look like to be in transition of like trusting? Is that an easy transition for you? Is the transition of trust like, I'm waiting things out? Like, how do you build trust with people that are completely new? Because I mean, you're the newest person on the team. So what does that look like? Like transitioning into trust?
A lot of my clients, maybe not all of them. It's been a while
Yeah.
since I've spoken about it. But so before this, I mean, I've been a trainer for almost 4 years now. But before this, I played poker
Yeah.
professionally, and so I always it just kind of comes naturally. I even did it as a kid. Just I don't know. It's just who I am. Like I just feel people out. Like it's
Mhm.
not intentional. I just do it, and
Yeah.
like once I see like who you are and what you're about, then I can kind of like inch forward and move into trust and just
Yeah.
um, I mean everything starting from like Brent and Cassie, just like on down to Blake, and then it was like owners to managers to coworkers.
Right.
Everybody was just so helpful right from the start, and so it
Yeah.
was very very easy. Um, I felt at home essentially.
Yeah. That's a cool way to put it, that you felt at home. It's like you were feeling out the environment. You knew, like, okay, I can, and, not to play on like the card game or poker or whatever, but it's almost like you're trying, like you're just you're feeling people out and where are they at, and watching and taking in. And I can relate to
Hmm.
that. That's similar to just, I think in building trust, you don't put all your chips in, right? I mean, you could teach me about that or whatever, but it's like slowly yet surely letting, okay, that went well, or we can relate here, or, oh, if that's something that causes that person pain, then, I'll stay on this side, that kind of deal. So that's
Hmm.
great. Well, I want you to know you have been such an addition to the team. And I've not even been on the team the longest at all, but just know that you have been kind and you've been caring, and you've been one of the things that I love about you, Paul, is like you watch, like you've helped me out so much. So one thing we value here at Avenue, and we talked about this already, is just care, and offering care and giving care, and being watchful of each other, so that we can, like just honor Avenue, but honor one another as well. And so thank you for that. And thank you for what you add to the team, and how much you really do you make it more, and you make it better. And so thank you for that, big time. Is there anything else that you think that you would want to share before we hop off here?
No, I can't. I can't think of anything in
Okay.
the moment.
Yeah, no, I just appreciate I value what you've shared, and I think it's really good, and we're always transitioning, right? And so it's finding that place to process and finding that place to not hold it in, and even if we're an introvert, but allowing ourselves to process. And so I love this story that you shared about you and Angie and also just going walking. So
Yeah.
thanks for sharing all that. Means a lot.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. And we're going forward, right?
Yep.
What we do.
One foot at a time.
One foot at a time. Love it. Thank you.